President Trump vows never to give in because former defense ministers guarantee the very real possibility of a coup. In this video, let's see President Trump's latest promise never to give up. The White House tells Biden why some former defense ministers signed a letter warning President Trump not to let the military get involved in any of these. Why so many media are starting to believe Trump is really in the process of staging what they consider a coup that you won't want to miss. Welcoming everyone the happiest of the New Year's to each and every one of them. Steve is here with you, ready to bring you our latest episode celebrating the inevitable demise of leftist globalism and the unstoppable rise of the new conservative era. For so if you did, you know what to do. Make sure the notes are in balance, and we'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel, where every day we focus on optimism and encouragement within the nonsense fake fetal news spewing out by the mainstream media. Now before let's start with a big thank you to the sponsor of this video, and that's the maker of this amazing motion detector, the Bright Solar Night Light. You can install it anywhere, because it's wireless and you don't need to worry about buying the battery because it's solar powered with high energy battery storage. It is equipped with motion detector and it easily becomes a solver lamp. Plays your barbecue party with the simple button of a button, and its motion detection that provides a deterrent against thieves. And above all, you don't need to spend a lot of money for whatever. If you clicked that link below right now, you will save 52% as well as free shipping. To get can do better. Don't wait. Click on the link below or go to nightsolar.com and bring its light to the dark areas of your house today. Stop running here. The rhetoric continues to play up. President Trump was interviewed back recently by Glenn Beck. Interviewed him during the holidays, and Trump made a pretty bold statement to him when Glenn returned. It said how impressed he was that Trump fought and refused to give up the sentence. Trump swore, I wouldn't admit. Wow. And he said it was completely clear last night at the rally in Georgia. 100% commitment to this win. He made it clear he was hoping for Vice President Mike Pence to do the right thing tomorrow, January 6th. Any promising day you turn to seeing him as a Democrat won't take over the White House, because in Trump's words, we're going to fight like hell. Now it's all going on when a massive professional maggot crowd is gathering in Washington, D.C. before January 6th. Base voting groups across the country are gathered in D.C. gives an advance rally in the Free Square and sister rallies in the Capitol and the Supreme Court, and of course the target in all. This is sending a message to Congress to overcome total power outages by the mainstream media regarding all election changes back on November 3rd. In those days, and Sanders mistakenly texted the Hill Republicans that the Republicans had changed. We are now the party of the underdogs, that we completely ace on and we will never go back to the Romney Republican days as a network where the ship was. In fact, exactly what Agent Matt Gaetz said on the Front Door newsletter is one of the nearly 200 representatives who have vowed to oppose voters, and the Joe Biden portal has posted on the newsletter that it's shocking fake news when we wanted to call on the net collectivism by the liberal James Murdoch, quickly possessed in the frenetic left-wing wife tweeted out last week when CNN announced by The winner will enter the gate, and he never raced the Republican Party that is flooding the network there again, just like Trump declared that we will never go back to the former Republican Party ever, party beating Romney in the bushes and his Cheney calling out his name. I'm really impressed by now Donald Trump's party gates say he could be a populist Republican, and Donald Trump's nationalist populist is not a globalist, neither a liberal nor a purely secular tycoon, that the former Republican Party is dead and the Republican Party, new future Republican Party. I am definitely a populist and nationalist tradition, and it's a party that is willing to fight against establishment regardless of whether it's the deep state or the Democrat or Republican Party. The new Republican Party is a fighting party. One party involved to win. This is not simply following to harmonize. They are not Mitch McConnell are Republicans. We are currently disappointing the magnet crowd, of course, that is gathering crowds of people in D.C. When we talk, things are heating up a bit now, just as defense secretaries before defense secretaries show that they are a little nervous here now. Very interesting because of all that this is going on. 10 former defense ministers signed a letter warning President Trump to be unrelated to the military, and as well as ABC News that Trump was not involved in military quotes when he was upset about the election results, citing the content of the letter, citing part-time for the result of the question. Time has passed for the official counting of the electoral votes in accordance with the constitutional and statute. Efforts to involve the armed forces of the United States. Electoral dispute resolution will put us into illegal and unconstitutional territory. Such military and civilian officials taking such measures would be liable, including the possibility of facing criminal penalties for the serious consequences of their actions against our representative. And the letter were drafted by former defense ambassador, the man Eric Adam, and when asked what motivated him to draft a letter, he told ABC News that concerns about Trump's move regarding the dismissal of the Secretary of Defense immediately after the election, the number of loyalists in the Defense Department will increase. He also cited whether Trump hastily withdrew his troops from Afghanistan. We cannot do that. We have to fight endless wars. Analysts of wars abroad forever are right. Republicans win the election. Did you see that we talked about this before? Newsweek published a compelling article about the Pentagon's help in the Washington area. The military leaders were on red alert because of them. Too concerned about increasingly rebel words from the president, exaggerating a rhetoric that is being encouraged by some current and former military officials. And so what the article does is really the highlight of the U.S. military's actually going through the conflict over the entire concept of a potential martial law, to which we are forcefully opposing. It was in the process of assembling a kind of organized resistance against the presidential declaration of martial law, but on the side those who appear to be preparing to fulfill the president's wishes actually had some former military officers openly urging President Trump to enact martial law in an attempt to correct the wrongs of the case. Voter fraud happened on November 3rd. Of course, the former general of Trump national security advisor, He is probably the most vocal in his support for precisely that. He tweeted an advertisement page on the Washington Times from our conference. Are people comparing Lincoln's efforts to save time H 1863 and Trump's attempt to vindicate full voters in 2020 in the light? Is a comparison like us that the popular Congress is calling on President Trump to enact limited martial law to provisional constitutional suspension or revised presidential elections overseen by the military. It is clear Flynn is not alone, and the number of former military officials and the officers were campaigning that Trump declared some sort of martial law to rectify the fraud that Lee's defect stole the election and destroyed any image of a free election process and future fairness in the hearts and minds of tens of millions of people. A number of articles were written late indicating that the judiciary's gift was now filled by loyalists to the ace, especially the new defense minister, who recently moved the special forces away from the military's leadership and placed them under his civilian leadership. About this very interesting thing for sure, and the soul is not coincidental that some media have voiced concerns that we may not see any less than what they consider colleagues now. Before we go into that, would like to personally invite you to our New Year virtual conference this Saturday, 9th of January. Let's prepare for next year. We have a number of wonderful guests lining up. There's Senator Doug of Pennsylvania, knowledgeable about him coming to us like you know the center owner. I'm going to get the ball rolling by leading the Gettysburg hearings. He's very close to President Trump and all these, and he will be with us, as well as Ian Smith, the owner of the New Jersey Gym, who is actively challenging their governor's tear in the call lock command that we are giving. Friend, I'm actually the coolest patriots fighting on the front lines for you and for me. Currently the number of seats for the conference is limited and the seats are going fast, but to make it even better, we are extending the New Year 30% discount just the next day or so you don't have to wait. Click on that link below and sign up today, and you'll be happy to hear that this virtual conference proceeds portion will be used to repair homes for good neighbors. So not only will you get blown away for this, but you will also bless others upon signing up. Don't wait. Click on the link below and sign up for our New Year virtual conference today and enjoy the entire conference in the comfort of your living room. As I said, the number of stores that are accusing President Trump of staging a coup plot. Get your wallet, lure New Yorkers what you can do if Trump coup. I mean, I mentioned this before, it really sounded like a Broadway musical. What if Trump staged a coup? Or check out this article in The Country, planning a coup d'etat. So this is interesting because the author here believes Trump can exploit mayhem and dubious mail-in ballots for your own benefit and order federal agents to go in and raid mail-in counting centers, and this light is what I think is pretty intriguing. It's actually a warnings to Russia's President Trump of recent history, shows how successful the KU is, but this is one of the favorites all my time. This is the route. I am not saying Donald Trump is planning a coup. He's doing exactly what someone would do if they were to plan a coup. I like it. Which is a great headline, regardless of which is quite clear here that we now have ex-Defense Secretary came out and signed this letter. It was clear that the swamp was getting nervous. Trump has vowed never to give up. The fact that he never leaves the White House will not give the White House body will not admit that deep state swamp rats are getting nervous by what they are seeing a Trump card in terms of face. The DoD fans of their division are clearly getting nervous about, as are the amplifiers of the mainstream media, which are devoted to amplifying the global liberalist men's packages of deep state. So needless to say, as President Trump continues his fight against this swamp, the rhetoric of both sides is heating up. Before you get started, be sure to like this video. Feel free to comment below and subscribe to my channel. You definitely want to see my latest video I just uploaded on how Democrats have standardized for failure in the Georgia Senate. I find this very interesting. Please click on the link and I will meet you there. God bless.